How's it going, everybody? I am Preston Johnson.
Welcome to
Last Word Cheetah, brought to you by Bets TV.
You guys are general life philosophy.
That's exactly right. You're a fish.
Qwan, by the way, my producer, Qwan Young, doing a good job. He'll be taking the calls. How you doing today, bud?
Hey, man, how are you?
We appreciate you guys tuning in. Welcome to the show, Bets TV, bringing you Last Word Cheetah. Welcome in, everybody, to Last Word Cheetah, brought to you by Bets TV. I am Preston Johnson, your host, here in Southern California at the studios that, by the way, rainy Southern California today. And do you remember Qwan Young, co-host, producer, hanging out here on the side? There was a song by the one and only Alanis Morissette, and it was like Rain on the Wedding Day, like the ironic whatever hit, probably was number one for a while. So we have close friends that I didn't even remember until like this morning are getting married today. We're going to the wedding. It's outdoors, though, and it's been raining all day, especially down. It's rare for the beach town that I'm in, down south. Irvine, it's been fine. I don't think it's been raining up here. But anyways, I'm worried for them. Might be an interesting wedding.
It's rain on your wedding day is supposed to be good, right?
It's like rain.
Okay.
Yeah. You want me to hit the karaoke with you next weekend?
Here.
I just got this stuck in my head now that I mentioned it.
It's a free ride when you already paid.
That's right. Who would have thought? It figures. Is she Canadian?
Yeah.
She's Canadian. I don't have the Canadian accent like
No.
she does. No. Anyways.
It's not a flattering act.
Hopefully the rain dies down for them. But regardless, a lot of big news today. We'll hit. I'll rattle the three main ones off. Four, really. Cam Newton, cut by the Patriots. We'll talk about that a little bit. We talked about it with Marcus Grant when he was on, and just some things I had heard about maybe Mac Jones being the guy anyway. He was just so much quicker making decisions, making reads, going to one guy to the next and the receivers, and just kind of how the Patriots have always run offense, right, which was different with Cam Newton. Ben Simmons apparently just came out like 15 minutes ago, said he doesn't want to be a Sixer. He's not going to be reporting to whatever their camp is whenever it starts. Daryl Morey had a chance to trade him probably when his asking price was higher, and now it's lower. So that'll be interesting to see how that folds out. Zeb Noland is a grad assistant for South Carolina. He's starting a football game this weekend against Eastern Illinois, if I recall, an FCS opponent at least. So they should be okay. But it's a grad assistant that's actually... I asked this because we had to pre-tape Collin Wilson, who's going to be a guest on later on the show, to break down some week one. But I really feel like this new thing for grad assistants, you're like, this is my time to shine. That could be me.
Listen,
Zeb Noland, baby.
I was a GA like immediately out of college. My coach called me my position coach called me like 6 days before they started camp. And I was like, I still have my legs. So they had me out there running scout team. I was running around. There was one practice where I tried to like suit up and give a scout look, and they were like, "No, get out of my way."
It just set you right out.
Yeah, so that's absolutely like just one more time to throw the pads on. Absolutely.
Well then, okay. One more item of business. While I am not necessarily surprised that your hamstring acted up when you suited up to try to go run some scout team, I'm represented by UTA. It's an agency. Do a lot of athletes. They do a lot of other, famous people down in New York City, Southern California. I think probably their lowest paid person on their whole list. Like they're a pretty big deal.
Yeah, you're there though.
They signed on with Larva Labs, the creators of CryptoPunks and a few other NFT projects.
Oh yeah.
Today the news broke. They want to bring CryptoPunks to Hollywood, TV, video games, other publishing projects. So shout out to my team over there at UTA. I only know one guy over there, but well done. Sharp move.
Listen, man.
And people are like, oh, no, this NFT stuff, the punks, it's a scam. People are laundering money. It's like the last few weeks, like publicly, VCs, Visa, Budweiser, they're coming in buying these things. And now a talent agency, one of the biggest in the world, is coming in and partnering with Larva Labs, who created them, to do movies and games and shows. Like, you can only tell people to wake up so often. Anyways, I really did want to give them a shout out. when Qwan, I know there's something that you were going to say. I'm going to go Cam Newton real quick because I'm trying to remember my notes from a week ago when we talked to Marcus, or maybe it was the week prior, but I had been driving in that morning, and I'll tell the joke that this analyst told that I don't even remember. I think it was on Pat McAfee's show, but I don't even remember who it was. So I wish I could give him a shout out, but he's like, no, this is really what it's like in practice. It's like you have Mac Jones at quarterback making a read, making his next read, making his next read, and it's just crisp, and everyone's like feeling the vibe that they had with Tom Brady. And then he uses the analogy, says when it's Cam Newton under center in practice, it's making a read, making his next read, making his next read, and it's just so much slower. Then we joked around about, and this is why I wanted to bring it up again with you. We're like, maybe this is some, like, Cam Newton mysteriously, like, isn't with the team. There was some maybe COVID-related safety protocol. Like, maybe this is some sort of Bill Belichickian way of getting Mac Jones to be the starter without having to deal with like a general like Cam, you stink, like you're out.
Yeah.
Well, they cut him anyway now, but I don't know. I feel like from the get-go, Bill's just always liked the Mac Jones prospect. You're getting those leaks out of practices and from reporters and analysts, and here we are, Mac Jones, starter for the New England Patriots. Anything in your view? I know you had expected him to become the starter eventually. Yeah. Do you think him being it from week one is positive for New England, or do you think there's going to be some growing pains?
My whole thing is that you have to play football to get better at football. So, like I said, I mean, eventually I knew Mac Jones would overtake the job. It's unfortunate for Cam, but I think it's the right decision. If you're going to go out there, he looked good in the preseason, and if you're going to throw him out there, you might as well get him all the reps, all the games that you can, because he's going to need the work. And, I mean, honestly, what are you actually losing? Because you know that Cam's not vaccinated, which is, I think, kind of the main thing. You don't want your quarterback being exposed and knowing that there may be a possibility.
Just in and out every week or practice. You never know. So it's just a mess.
Just go full steam with the guy that you drafted and the guy that you're investing in the future in. So, I mean, if you're getting that type of resistance from Cam about the vax, and he's just a variable that's going to cost you. So
before we start taking calls, and we have a break in about 2 minutes, we'll take first. But 661-515-BETS is the line. We'll take your calls. It's the last day. Tom Davis still well ahead in first place to take down the August prize pool, $700 his way, unless someone out there can hit something. But someone else asked, and I mentioned on the show yesterday, you guys can call in if you're like, oh, I'm not going to catch Tom with some random parlay. Start giving us plays for college football this week. Week 1 starts in September, Thursday, and we'll count those. So feel free to call and do college football. But real quick, put up the odds if you have them for Cam Newton and his next team. You said you saw them somewhere. Do you have them handy or no?
We do have them.
You can just read them off for me. Yeah. That's fine too if we don't have a graphic. I know it was the graphic before.
I got this from Sportsline. Cowboys plus 500. Colts plus 6. Washington plus 7. Ravens, Steelers, Texans, Jets, Cardinals, Seahawks, Falcons.
Washington 7-1. Maybe if they're not believing in the beard. Fitzpatrick. Yeah. I don't know why Dallas would do it. Insurance, I guess, in case Dak's just not.
I think a lot of the things.
They're certainly fine with unvaccinated players in Dallas. That's for.
That's HIPAA. I think a lot of the things that people were saying is that can Cam be a backup? Like, do you really want Cam Newton starting right now? Yeah, but I mean, if somebody's better available.
Well, now if like you're about to start the season, you'd probably want him to have a few weeks of being with the team and learning everything regardless. But if he's just insurance to a Prescott or trying to go in and eventually take over for Fitzpatrick in a month, like, it kind of makes some sense. But I guess what I'm saying is those probably are priced fairly like logically.
But you're talking about unvaccinated Cam and Ron Rivera. So I
mean, Washington will be a little bit different.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to defend him on his stance and where he could go next, where it would be a fit.
That's fair. All right, let's wrap it. Let's hit the break. 2 minutes, and then we'll start taking your calls, 661-515-BETS. And by the way, shout out to those that played Who Wants to Be Betting Extraordinaire yesterday. We'll do another show today at 2 o'clock Pacific time. but everyone won except one person. The Rockies, because Qwan also liked that side. Welcome back, everybody. This is Last Word Cheetah, brought to you by Bets TV. We are going to take your calls, I believe, for the next 15 minutes. Hopefully that is the case. Qwan, I'm not sure if we opened up the lines during the break. We are good? Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I forgot to ask him during the break. I was responding to a message. All is well. Hopefully Tom Davis just sits back, waits for everyone, and says, hey, let's see if anyone fires parlays. Again, college football slate also wide open if you want to call. We'll start tracking for September, which new wrinkle. September, we're going to gamify it a little more. One, I mentioned yesterday, no parlays. That'll be beneficial. Also, I'm going to make you guys kind of talk through the plays you're picking like we did at the beginning of August. And by the way, you guys went on like the heater of all heaters the first 2 weeks of August. So it'll be beneficial for you guys. I think it'll be better content. And just firing parlays and listening to you guys for 10 minutes, 15 minutes doing parlays, it gets boring after about a couple days straight of it. So we're going to do that, but we're going to gamify it with some bonuses. Like if you call each day for a week and give out a pick, you get an extra win on your tally for that week. Or if you do it for all 4 weeks, then you're going to get 4 extra wins on your tally. We might do 1 or 2 little perks like that throughout. So just wanted to kind of update everyone as we're talking it through. But we do have a call, so go ahead and patch them through. Welcome to Last Word Cheetah. This is Preston. Who are we speaking with?
Hello. Good afternoon.
How's it going, Carlos?
The great month of August will always be in my memories forever.
You know what?
What?
I'm still feeling like I need to fly you out here and sit you down in this chair and have some sort of discussion. But what's interesting is initially we're like, well, if you lose by 11 units or less because of that 4-teamer that would have hit that I talked you out of, well, you're going to lose by a lot more than 11. But I think your strategy would have changed the last 10 days or so. So it changed everything, and I still will take the blame for that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
What do you like tonight?
Well, since it's over, it's going to be a theme here. The month is over. The parlays are over today. You know, this contest pretty much is over. I'm going over. So we're going to take Washington WNBA, Washington, Connecticut, over 149.
Okay, let me double check and pull up the WNBA screen to make sure. I can give you 148.5. Okay, over.
Take it. Oakland, going back to MLB. That's for the
No
rest.
problem. Go ahead.
Oakland, Detroit, over 9.
All right, let me just make sure I can't give you a better number on that. Oakland, Detroit, yep, over 9, minus 110. Okay.
Colorado, Texas, over 8.5.
You know it's not in course tonight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Qwan got it. All right. Next.
And since you're not at the game, Atlanta Dodgers, over 8.
You can go 7.5. That moved down a half run.
There you go. You're not going to game, right?
Well, what if I did just to make sure you don't win the month of August?
He said, yeah, you set it up as a theme, so you got to stick with it.
So here's the thing.
I have to stick with it.
It pays about 12.5 to 1. I'm not sure if that's enough, Carlos.
No, it's not.
We need to fire
Not.
one more or substitute one of them for an underdog.
No, we're going with my home team, Washington Nationals, tonight.
On the money line? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Minus 118. All right, we'll add that. That is going to be enough. It's going to be over 20 to 1. Yep, 23.80. Almost 24 to 1. We'll lock you in for that.
Thank you, sir.
All right, man. Take it easy. Talk to you later, Carlos.
All right.
We have anyone else on the line? No, we're good. All right, 661-515-BETS is the phone line. Again, Tom Davis sitting in first. You don't want to fire a parlay and try to catch them. It's the last day of the month. That's fine. But call in. We have an entire slate for week 1 college football. You can break down your favorite bet there. I broke down, it was 9 or 10 sides yesterday. Monday morning, go through, kind of look at what my discrepancies are in my projections and the market. We went through NC State minus the 18, Maryland plus 3.5, Texas minus 8, Baylor minus 13, Florida Atlantic plus 24.5, UCLA plus the 3.5 at the time, Cal minus 3, Washington State minus 16, Ole Miss minus 9.5. We rattled all those off yesterday. So if anyone has thoughts on those or just something else you're looking at, maybe it's a total, before we talk to Collin Wilson after our next break, feel free, 661-515-2387. Is it Tom that's up next? Okay, yeah. Bring him right through. What's up, Tom? How you doing?
What's happening, big man?
You told everyone you were going to show them how to hit a real parlay yesterday, and you almost did. The Dodgers game was sitting 7 for a long time. You probably should have hit that.
I know it. There's a couple of close calls there. You said we could play for next week for the next month, right?
Yeah, feel free.
138, Central Florida.
Okay, break it down for us.
Oh, can't hardly hear you. I'm in this casino. Oh, yelling.
Wait, you're at the casino right now?
Yes.
Whereabouts? In like the sports book?
Yeah, Cherokee.
How much money
North
do you have
Carolina.
on you, Tom?
How much I got on me? About 500-600 in my little gambling kitty. What's up?
Can you go put 100 on a blackjack hand right now, live on the show? How close are you to a blackjack table?
Yeah.
I'll send you 100 first if you want on Venmo.
All right, it's a pretty good little hike. You might want to talk to your show, and I'll call you back.
Beautiful. Tom, call us back whenever you're ready. We're going to fire $100 live on the show on a blackjack hand. And if they get angry at you for having a phone out, that's fine. Put it in your pocket. Just keep the line open, and then you can tell us what happened. We'll probably be able to hear. But yeah, call us back in a few minutes.
All right.
All right, later. We will lock them in for Central Florida too, by the way, -5. There's a few 4.5s that are -120. I'm not going to give them. I'm just going to give them the 5. It's not worth paying 10 cents for a half point on a 5. So anyways, that's going to be for September. The game is Thursday. Again, we pre-taped with Collin Wilson, so that'll go in about 10 minutes. We'll play that. He also has to play in this game. And for me, it's like 2 new coaches. I'm not sure what schemes and styles are staying or what's going to get changed, what to expect. I just can't bet this game. I'm staying away. But I know someone that also laid earlier a couple weeks back that 3.5, 4 with Central Florida. So they agree with Tom for the most part. And someone else I know also likes Central Florida I was talking to last night. So we'll see. Do we have anyone on hold? Do you think live betting a hand of blackjack with a caller that's at a sports book or at a casino is good content?
It's great content.
Okay.
All content is great.
I had the idea and I was like, hey, maybe. All right.
We could call him and see if he probably has a camera phone. We could set him up and have him walk through.
Patch it through and see the hand play live on like a split screen.
Yeah.
That might take a little more. Maybe you could set it up while we roll the call-in
Some
interview.
ability. Yeah. We'll see.
Maybe we could roll the call-in interview now. And then we'll set that up with Tom and see. The thing is, the casinos almost always say no to like any sort of camera.
Yeah.
So Tom's gonna have to be sneaky.
Let's not put him on.
All right. Yeah. Let's.
But that would be a good reveal too.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Dox him, and if it's Pikachu, then you're just justice.
We might have to do it.
I think it's good because he was open to it, but also I'll send him the money first, and then I have to trust that if we win, he'll send it back to me with the winnings.
Tom's a trust.
We'll see what happens. I'm not supposed to be betting because I'm still trying to lose weight. I talked about this on a podcast last night. Like my goal this year was to lose like way more weight than I have, so I can't bet yet, like for real. But $100 doesn't. That's like such a small fraction of what I would normally bet. I'm not going to count it.
What's the goal?
January 1st, I had to lose 50 pounds before I can bet again.
How?
I lost 20. Okay. The first.
That deserves a round of applause.
Thank you. Well, no, because it was like the first 2 months. it's like February through February. So it was like March 9th or something. Or maybe it was like right after my birthday. I cheated early March maybe. And then but really I got super busy with the Punks comic stuff and that whole project. And I was diving into NFTs and I got lazy combined with way more busy. And I was also, I think, a little content with having lost 20 so quickly. I was like, that's good. But I wanted to lose 50 total. And so I was plateaued for a few months. And also like the NFT stuff was doing well. So I also was less motivated to bet because I didn't need to make money from betting as often as I had in my previous lives. So here I am, season's about to start. I'm not allowed to bet. I'm only down like 25. So I'm like halfway there. It's just like since February, I've only lost 5 pounds.
You're too comfortable. You gotta put yourself in like a.
My goal is still to try to do it by the end of the year. My thinking is that I can probably get to 40s. 50 might be a little tougher, but I mean I still have plenty to lose. So we'll see if I can make it happen. But anyway, I'm not counting this hand of blackjack. It's a very unique experience to have a caller bet $100 on a blackjack hand. If it wins or loses, whatever. If it wins, we'll add 100 to the jar. How about that for September? We'll start with 100 in September.
There we go.
Tom Davis. We'll see if he can come through if he calls back. But let's roll. He hasn't called in yet, right? In the last 4 or 5 minutes. Let's roll the interview with Collin. There's no one else on the line. Week 1 college football. Caught up with him for about 12 to 15 minutes. And then in the meantime, we'll see if Tom gives us a call back, and we'll jump into that. All right, welcome back. Collin Wilson from the Action Network joining me to break down Week 1 college football season. But first and foremost, I need to tell you, Collin, and ask you, you mentioned when we did our season win totals draft, Zeb Noland, the grad assistant, might be playing quarterback for South Carolina. And if I'm not mistaken, they were your number 1 pick to go under the season wins. You're like, it's a mess. And sure enough, earlier today, I think he was officially confirmed the quarterback. I've never seen anything like this. Any more thoughts you want to share there? I just was shocked to see the news. Qwan actually let me know. He's like, hey, that guy's going to be playing quarterback for sure.
You and I have had so much side action against each other. If I lose a number 1 draft pick under South Carolina with a GA they pulled to lead as quarterback, then you know what? I've just cursed against you in side bets.
That's true. This should be like the last straw if that's what does it. I should say, right. Qwan used to play a little bit. He used to coach some. Is this like the grad assistant theme now going forward? As everyone's like, it's my time to shine. Like, I could do this. That could be me. I feel like we might see a change in college football going forward, especially now that some of them are going to get sponsorship deals and get paid. Regardless, one thing that you were – go ahead. Yeah, say it.
I say what's funny to me, Preston, is like if you turn on regular TV and you watch regular people try to handicap college football, not you and me, they call Jack Cohn a game manager. What are we going to call Zeb Nolan out in South Carolina? That's way past game manager. We need a new name.
Look, he plays against, I think it's Eastern Illinois. It's an FCS matchup. I don't even think we have a line for it yet, but everyone needs to be tuning into that game. I'm not sure if there's going to be a stream from a mobile phone somewhere in the stadium, but we need to figure that one out. Maybe we'll send
a birdie
Collin to
told
South
me
Carolina.
43. A birdie told me 43 is out there.
43 is the spread?
The spread. A birdie told me that about an hour ago. And I have not. I have to
Okay,
pull my
because
head out of right.
I looked when the announcement came and I saw nothing, and then maybe it was just released since. That is interesting. That seems like a high number for a GA at quarterback that's going to turn around and hand it off 100 times. We'll see. We can talk about it later in the week. But one thing we do need to hit on, UCLA, great start. That was another bet that you took. They crushed Hawaii despite Dorian Thompson-Robinson not really being able to make very many throws. I feel like he was high on like 5 or 6 throws. That gives me a little bit of concern, but their run game was phenomenal. Their defense looks like it's going to be great again. And they go up against LSU here at home for UCLA. Down to +3. I know you liked it at +4, +3.5. Well done. I think the Bruins, I think they sneakily might be this like double-digit win team this year. I don't know if it's now the fan. I see one game as a Bruins fan, and it's all out the door. I'm like, all right, let's win it all.
Yeah, literally on the Action Network podcast that I cut with Stuckey, like I dropped do you think UCLA can make the college football playoff? And he hushed me so fast.
Forgot about
that. So I have to be a little bit, I have to pull myself back and realize that it doesn't matter what they did in the air, what Dorian Thompson-Robinson or any of the other quarterbacks did in the air against Hawaii, because if they're going to try to pass against Eli Ricks and against Derek Stingley, they're going to get eaten alive. And so really the whole handicap was I wanted to see what they did on the ground against Hawaii. They looked unbelievable. Zach Charbonnet is your second quarterback or second string running back, and he's running for 3 TDs. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, we know that the legs are there. So if they come out passing against LSU, I'd be shocked. But the ground game looks absolutely legit, and that's exactly where you want to attack LSU. And as far as like controlling Siobhan Cordero, you and I both know Cordero has his nights where he just carries that Hawaii team. That UCLA defense shutting him down, I couldn't be happier as a person that's got a lot of money right on UCLA this season.
I mean, Hawaii, I think they had like minus 10 yards middle of the second quarter, and they finally converted a 15 or 16-yard pass to get positive with 5 minutes left in that first half. I was very impressed. And again, I don't want to let the fan get to me, but I think your call on UCLA is looking very strong.
Where do you think the line ends?
Where does it end? I think 3. I think it'll settle 3.
Yeah.
Maybe juiced on the UCLA side. It might move a little bit more where you're maybe pushing 2.5, but I'd be surprised if there wasn't some maybe buyback on a 2.5 where it just settles right at 3. So, yeah, I think it's about right now. Thursday night, let's hit one game because it actually got hit about 30 minutes before we jumped on with you. There's a weather game, Minnesota, Ohio State. Go ahead and break us down because I know it's moved some, but you made an interesting point when we were texting real quick about where you had the number at the end of last season, now comparing it to this year.
Yeah, so what I do in week 1 with totals is what did I make this total at the end of last season, and what changes have happened from a coordinator and a player perspective for me to adjust that up or down. And the total that I made on this game was 60. So immediately I started looking under, and a lot of things kind of played into this. The fact that both these teams rush over 60% of the time, that's a lot. I mean, you think of Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson being on the Ohio State offense, you think that they would pass all the time because of the explosive plays. But truth of the fact is, Ryan Day, it's a run-based attack. Now, we know that that's all Minnesota is. Ibram, that offensive line, they can move the ball. And I think 2 things that made my decision early in the week, why I took under 66 and why I would keep playing it down to 60 is, A, the weather forecast is not getting any better. If you're looking at your regional forecasts, Coastal Carolina and the Citadel, there may be some rain down there. Minnesota, that stadium is just going to get dumped with rain. We don't know at what time it's going to come in. But the other handicap of that was the offensive line is all over the place. Thayer Munford played every single snap at left tackle. He's now the left guard. Harry Miller played various positions on the offensive line. He only got 59 snaps at center. He's now the full-time center. The 2 guys that were right guard and right tackle, they're now over on the left side of the ball. It's just like the whole offensive line got shuffled, and they've never given a reason why they do it. Now, I believe in Ryan Day, but this is your first game, and maybe they just think they can get away with it because Minnesota's defensive line is just garbage. I don't know, but I see low scoring here. Weather could help into that. Offensive line, new positions, great players, but new positions. All of it plays into the under for me.
I will add as well. I mean, it was very un-PJ Fleck-esque of Minnesota's defense last year to be as bad as they were, especially against the run. I think a lot of it, they were one of the teams that suffered early and frequent with the guys out, especially on the defensive side because of COVID, and they just never really found their groove. And so you don't want to throw it out entirely, but I think defensively Minnesota projects to be a lot better than they showed last year in some of those numbers.
There's more. I'll say one more thing. They extended their defensive coordinator by a year. Like they gave him another $750,000 to hang around. So there's something going on with that defense last year that wasn't made public for them to give an extension to the DC.
So I want to hit on Kansas State Stanford. It's interesting. I do that live release show with Right Angle. They released Kansas State at pick and moved to 2.5 now, most of the market. You still like Kansas State at that number. I know we were both bearish Stanford from the season wins perspective at 4.5. Go ahead and break the game down in the matchup.
Yeah, from a Stanford perspective, this line to me should be 3.5. So I would still play it as of right now. But, I'm not going to sit there and say, hey, I got +2. That's a great number. You should get it because you can't get it anymore. I can guarantee you that Kansas State is going to be in my money line round robin dog parlay where I put like 7 teams together. So you can book it if you want to play it that way with the money line. That's fine. But from a perspective, this Stanford defense does not know what to do with a healthy Deuce Vaughn, a healthy Skylar Thompson, and Howard's going to get some snaps in also. So there's going to be a lot of different looks that Chris Klieman's going to be throwing at the Stanford defense, which to me may be one of the worst trenches in all of the Pac-12. You go to the offensive side of the ball. I mean, we can talk about how great, McKee is going to be and how he's going to be, tremendous in the long run. But last year, these comebacks that they won by 1 point was with Davis Mills and a bunch of receivers catching a bunch of Pac-12 teams dealing with COVID and a limited sample set. I think everybody's a little bit too high on David Shaw. But really, if you want to know the handicap on this, Kansas State is terrible at moving the chains, and they're one of the best teams in the nation in explosive plays. Stanford cannot defend explosive plays, and they don't have an explosive offense just to say, we can put 7 up in 1 minute. They can't do that. Kansas State can, and in the end, on a fast turf down in Arlington, which is exactly where, you don't want to try to be tackling Deuce Vaughn. He's a missed tackle machine. It really just comes down to that.
All right, let's hit on 2 more games. I think we have time for 2 more. I know you got to get going too for some other stuff that you're working on this week. Let's go to the first one that intrigues me because it is Thursday, and I am intentionally staying away. It's Boise State, UCF. Yeah. And the total, let me get up. By the way, Kansas State has started moving to 3 some places, so people that are hearing this, if you can still get a 2.5, it's worthwhile. Otherwise, you're probably going to miss the boat.
Yeah.
Boise State, Central Florida, 68.5. It opened higher, moved down, and now it's kind of crept back up. I'm not sure what to expect. 2 new head coaches. I'm not sure if Gus is going to try to change what UCF's been doing. The Heupel was doing that was so successful. I don't think he should. I don't think that's the intent, but I just never know. And then obviously losing Harsin on the Boise side. I could not bet an over here, so I'm intrigued. Pitch me. It convinced me.
I will pitch it to you because I have hit the over, and there's a couple of reasons why. Now Let's just say that Josh Heupel is number 1 in the country in tempo. He was in seconds per play. Josh Heupel runs at the Millennium Falcon going in warp speed, and everybody else is trying to catch up to him. And so what you have to assess the offensive coordinators on both sides because they're both brand new. Now, we don't know if Gus Malzahn's actually calling the plays or if G.J. Kinney, who was running the offense out at Hawaii last year and is famous for trying to run the go-go wrinkle offense, who's going to be calling the plays here, we'll know once we get the game started. But if it's G.J. Kinney, Hawaii finished 33rd in tempo last year. So then you go over to the Boise State side, and I'm doing some digging on their new offensive coordinator, Tim Plow, former coach down at UC Davis. And if anybody knows anything about FCS football, UC Davis can score some points, and they can score them fast. And if you extrapolate the number of plays that UC Davis ran versus time of possession, you would find out that UC Davis would rank in the top 25 and adjusted tempo if they were to play in the FBS. So that tells me I've got 2 offensive coordinators that definitely want to run tempo. They definitely want to go fast. I know Hank Bachmeier, Jack Sears. I know the quarterbacks of Boise can air it out and throw it deep. I think the question here really is, are they going to have a good success rate, and are they going to be able to show explosive plays? But the tempo is there for this thing to fly over because Tim Plow, do a little dig and research on him, wants to be called #hang half 100. And I read that. I was like, this can't be true. He actually said that. He said you could put that down in your little journalist notebook. I'm going to try to hang half 100 every game. So once I heard that, I was like, okay, I'm just going to play the over, and we'll, I'm me, Press. I'm not the kind of guy that's chasing steam on overs. I'm the kind of guy looking for the under on 72. But
Sure.
I got an offensive coordinator that's trying to show himself out and say he's going to hang half 100. Call me in on the over.
Yeah, that's interesting because even if they're sitting in some of these games of 42 and they have it well in hand, the theory is he doesn't care. He wants to score more. So even if it's not tempo related and running it up related, in this game it's not projected to be a blowout. But I just mean future. It's a good note to make for Boise State games going forward. I like it. Last one because we're Oppo. I like Louisville under the 10. It was 9.5. It was even 8, I think, earlier on. Moved to 10.5, 11 now. I think Ole Miss should be, I think my projection's like 13.6. And Louisville could just absolutely be a mess with the whole Saturday situation. And it was just so strange how it all wrapped up last year. But also it was a strange COVID season. So maybe it was just that. Give me your pitch then on Louisville because hopefully it lands 10. I think we can both win, but you like the Cardinals.
Yeah, and really, it's to me, it's market value. Your PRs you trust, my PRs I trust, and let's throw 2 others in here. Sagarin makes this game, I think, at 10, and SP Plus makes this game at 7. So you and I are on at like extreme boundaries, and I make this game at 3. And I knew that the spread was going to continue to rise because there's so much Ole Miss love in the market from the preseason, and well deserved. I mean, what Lane Kiffin is able to do from an offensive perspective has been fantastic, and I think they're going to give a lot of SEC teams a lot of problems, even if they rush 3 and drop 8, which Louisville may do in this first game. I don't know. And there is so much negativity around Louisville right now, but that doesn't mean that they don't have Malik Cunningham. And what does Malik Cunningham do? He makes people miss in space. He's great at running the ball. What does Ole Miss defense do? They are the worst front 7 in all of SEC in tackling, in rushing success rate. They do not have the front 7 built to go up against a rushing attack. And so at some point I said, I'm going to have to buy this. And because I make it 3 and SP Plus makes it 7 and Sagarin makes it 10. So when will it go too far? And finally, when I got to 10.5, I said, okay, that's too far. And it's not a thing where I think like Louisville can win. And I believe in the Ole Miss hype, but this is a market and there's a dip, and Louisville is on the dip right now and might as well grab it. And if I'm wrong, we never bet Louisville again.
It's interesting. Before I let you go, it's almost like you're selling high on Ole Miss and buying low on Louisville before the season even starts, which I can kind of get behind. By the way, in the back of my head, I feel like I called Satterfield Saturday. Also, the game isn't even on Saturday. It's on a Monday. So I think I misspoke, but it's Scott Satterfield. I think he can figure it out. Obviously, he did great things. He was at Appalachian State before that. And defensively, look, they graded out about nation average in EPA against the pass, but they were below average against the run. What Lane Kiffin and Matt Corral can do, if they can set things up with the run and they're effective there, I'm not sure Louisville will get too many stops defensively. Maybe the over is what we're trying to get here because they do still have Malik Cunningham, and Ole Miss's defense certainly isn't very good. So I'm intrigued. Yeah. It's one of the games I'm excited. I love like the standalone Monday night game too, that week 1. It's always a banger. So Collin, real quick.
Should be a ton of fireworks.
Let us know and let everyone else know where they can find your stuff and what else you're doing this week before week 1.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter at _ Collin, COLLIN 1. You can find my written work over at actionnetwork.com. Last night, I cut a podcast, my first ever Big Bets on Campus Sources edition with Brett McMurphy. I try to pry things out of him that he's got in his phone that he won't release to the general public. And Stuckey2 and at Stuckey2 and myself will do our podcast. Should be out late Thursday night and available for everybody on Friday to listen to. And everything you can find us at the Action Network. But thanks for having me on, Preston. I hope we can make this a weekly thing.
Beautiful. Yeah, let's make it happen. We appreciate your time. You're one of the best. Salute. Good luck the rest of the day. Beautiful. I think I said beautiful to end the interview too, and I just reiterated how beautiful it was. Thank you, Collin, again. Had to pre-tape with him. He's doing a bunch of other stuff. He's going to be busy this week, but maybe we can do a weekly Tuesday.
I like
Collin
that.
Wilson.
That's a good idea.
Why not? Yeah. We can do it. We can make it happen.
I also like the hang half 100. That was that tickled me.
I have a question. If you're a player, how do you view your offensive coordinator like hashtag hang half 100? Like that's cool.
If the OC says
pumps
it
you up,
and we're on defense, oh yeah, if they're gonna give us 50 a game, listen, we might be trash, but we're not gonna give up 51.
There you go. All right. By the way, we're waiting for Tom to call in still, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna try to make this blackjack hand happen. Also,
He was ready too.
He was ready as soon as we hit the interview. We pushed play, and of course, in the meantime, there are reports from Jason Dumas. Not a ton of followers, but well, we'll see. He's probably just trying to get a little clout here. Here's the tweet. Source.
Oh.
There's a high chance that Tyrese Maxey will be part of any Ben Simmons trade. Rich Paul would like both of his clients out of Philadelphia. If you want to have some fun, start Twitter searching Rich Paul, by the way, right now, if you're bored. He follows it up with a few local Philadelphia-based organizations had planned on partnering with Maxey on some community events. They were told to cancel those plans. Paul would not like Maxey to grow roots in Philly if he could be gone. Then he follows that up with an official source.
Oh.
The Sixers to trade Ben Simmons tonight. The asking price remains the same. The relationship seems to be over. It's not a matter of if anymore, but when. And then I realized, wait, that's from July 29th. So the guy was wrong a month ago.
Yeah.
He's trying again. But for what it's worth, it does seem credible, though, that there is some sort of public Ben Simmons, Rich Paul sentiment that he wants out, which isn't a surprise. I just feel bad I like Daryl Morey, what he did for analytics and bringing them to the basketball game in general. They're not going to get as much, I don't think, from this deal now. If Ben Simmons wants out, it's like the Rockets with James Harden kind of doing his thing. They probably got a lot less than they could have gotten otherwise. And I think the hope was that they could somehow swing Damian Lillard. We got a blank screen. It's all good. Quan's on top of it. People see me through the glare off the top. Hope I'm looking good for those people seeing the other side. Anyways, Dame Lillard would be awesome in Philly. Not sure it's going to be able to go down when now the other teams know. Like Ben Simmons isn't even reporting to play. If he's going to play that game, this is what I'm trying to get at. I'm like thinking it through as I'm talking, so maybe I'm not articulating it great. I mentioned Daryl Morey. I mentioned it. Who has the leverage? I think Philadelphia lost leverage. Here's the point, though. Morey he's not going to make minus EV decisions like selling Ben Simmons at 25 cents on the dollar. So who's going to break first? I'm not sure. Is it the other teams that are just want Ben Simmons on their team? Like Philadelphia wants a defense. Portland wants a defense. They want to make the deal. Do they finally give in? No, they probably want Lillard in their organization. Or is Morey finally just going to trade Ben Simmons for 25 cents, 50 cents on the dollar? I'm not sure. We have a call. Is it Tom? Okay, well, let's bring in the first call. Tom, if you're listening, he might be getting hounded over there in the pits. He might have already lost 500-600 firing before. All right, tone's up. What's up, man? How you doing?
Yo, it's good.
Things are doing, they're going. It's middle of the week, Tuesday. Quan's favorite day for some reason. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm all right.
What do you have for us?
Sixers, Ben Simmons. Oh, I was about to say the F word. He sucks. So I've been wanting him gone for about 3 years.
Okay.
I mean, I blame it all on Brett Brown. Like this idea that a 6'10" guy who can't shoot the ball but just pounds it into the ground is going to be your point guard is just ridiculous. And then let's go sign Al Horford. Let's go do all this nonsense like it's 2001. Like, I couldn't stand it from the beginning. I mean, what can the guy do? If it's not a straight line drive to the rim, he's useless on offense, but we're going to have the ball in his hand the whole time. That guy drives me crazy.
Like in the regular season, it gets passed on because teams are just kind of playing. They're not in a playoff series when teams can like adjust and game plan for it. It's such inefficiency to have Ben Simmons on the floor standing in the corner.
Literally just half an effort thing. Like half of the regular season is literally effort.
Right.
It's like the carrying. Like when it comes, and then it's like, oh, the postseason comes. You got a game plan. The floor shrinks. It's not just a bunch of cherry picking dunks half the game. You actually have to have a half court offense. Yeah. And Ben Simmons is horrible. Let's just say that, horrible.
Real quick before we have you leave us with a play, is he worse or the same as Chris Middleton?
Middleton is probably 10 times better than him.
Oh, wow.
10.
Okay.
That shocked
So
me.
he's like,
I
Ben
thought
Simmons
he
is
was
like
a
bottom
little
400
Yeah.
of the league. Very, very
Yeah.
nice.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
You have a play for us on today's card, or do you want to go college football?
What is he good for? A big athletic body, can't stretch the floor, loves pounding it into the ground and doing nothing with it. Only can shoot a right jump hook, but he's left-handed. Shoots the ball like he's shooting it with his wrong hand. I mean, the guy is
He might be.
shit at basketball. What's up?
I said he might be shooting it with his wrong hand. Do you have a pick for us?
No,
We got Tom on the line. Tom's about to fire some blackjack hands for us on the show.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, parlay, I guess. We're ripping big pars.
You got one more shot. You only need about 16, 17 units, so we'll see if we can get you there.
About 60.
Oh, yeah. We're going to
16.
find that number. All right, give me the Nationals, the Red Sox.
Have you called in and not bet the Red Sox before?
On the wagon.
No, they're a wagon, but they've been real
yesterday.
bad lately.
Yeah. Next.
No, lately, like the last 2 weeks, they can't win a game. All right, you got the
Yeah. Plus 140 there.
Braves and
Probably don't need more than that because they're plus 170.
no, we need to get my boy Gallon on there. Diamondbacks. I played baseball with him growing up. It's my dog.
Really? Okay. He was phenomenal
We had
last year
Smeltzer on
before
there,
the trade.
too. He's on your Dodgers. He's on the Twins now, but he was Devin Smeltzer.
What position?
We had him on the squad too.
What position did you play?
Second base and
Second
left
base.
field.
Yeah, sounds like it.
I think you asked him that before.
Did I?
Or I did because I remembered he played second. All right, that's almost a 30-1 shot. We'll lock it in.
Hey, this is gonna be the one.
If this is the one, he wins. He wins the month just on this. All right, Tone, we got to get to Tom. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Later. All right. The man, the myth, the legend. All right, patch him through. Tom, thanks for being patient on this. We got about 10
good.
minutes.
I'm gonna have to put the
Yeah, you put the phone in your pocket. We'll listen intently. Fire one black chip or $100, whatever you got to do, and we'll see what happens.
All right, buddy. All right.
I have a good feeling about this, Qwan.
We coming in now.
He's had. Yeah.
I hear a dealer talking. This isn't like a sham.
No.
The funny part's going to be he'll have to split or double down or something. All right, I got to listen.
The man said, we got the ace. Come on, Blackjack.
He said we got an ace, but I don't think we got blackjack.
Oh, the suspense killing me.
Got me so hyped saying we got an ace, baby, blackjack.
All right. They got them shut us down. Had an ace-9. You know what they hit.
No.
No.
10,
No,
10,
Tom.
5, and
We need
6.
evidence. Hold on. Break it down.
Well,
We had
put
20.
it on. We had 20, and they got 21. The lady beside me got the blackjack. We had ace up.
We heard you saying we got the
Number
ace.
Yeah,
So
we got the
they
ace.
showed 15 and hit a 6.
Hold on. Shit, I'm lost now. I had to get up because I'm had to run with the phone.
He doesn't know where he
This
is.
is the most disoriented he's ever been.
Yeah, they chase you out of here with the phone with a damn bat around here, these Indians.
Get off the phone.
Come right.
Like, no, it's fine. I'm just on the radio.
Yeah.
Hold on. So we had a 20, and they really were showing a 5 or 6, and they hit to 21.
Yes.
All right, that's about as bad as it gets. All right, I believe you. I owe you $100. I'll send it. Do you have
It's all good, brother.
do you need to go to the ATM? Are you okay? You only fired once, right?
No, I'm okay.
All right. That's good. We appreciate it, Tom. We'll talk to you
I'm good.
tomorrow.
We
Good
took a
luck
shot
to
at
wrap
him,
up
though. We had
August.
the ace. All right, buddy.
We heard you, man. Take care.
Fuck.
He probably was going to fire a nickel on some baseball game, and now he only has 400 on him.
Peer pressure.
Man, we're such a favorite as soon as the ace peels, and he's like, blackjack, baby. And then it's a 9. You're sitting on 20, and supposedly the dealer hit to 21, and we lost.
Well, he said the lady next to him hit the blackjack.
Yeah, they both had the ace showing. I mean, you couldn't draw it up really any more painfully than that. If I no reason not to believe him.
I think the end of the
definitely, like if it was all a setup somehow. There was someone else he was talking to, I heard, and then he definitely like had genuine excitement when the ace showed. He's like, "Come on, baby, give us a blackjack." He got way into it, and then it was silence, and that's when you knew. We probably should have known. We got, yeah.
The end of the call kind of signified. It wrapped everything up.
As we're hanging up, he's F word.
It's a family show, guys.
That's right. That was worth $100. Tom, I'll Venmo you. Send me your.
He's gonna win it back
your
tomorrow.
Address. I just want to know if he's sitting in the casino like every day. Like we could make this a regular segment.
We're just
firing hands of blackjack.
Tom got the blackjack, and then we just let Tone rant for like 5 minutes.
I think, isn't he from Philly, but there's some connection to the Sixers, right?
South Jersey.
Or is it Jersey? Okay, so it's the Nets.
So he cheers for all the Philly teams.
Oh, so he is a Sixers fan.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I had remembered. Okay. I mean, if he's been saying for 3 years they need to get rid of Ben Simmons, that makes sense. His takes on the hoops are sometimes good and sometimes really bad. Like Ben Simmons isn't like, bottom 378th in the league. Middleton isn't 40th either.
There's a level of an exaggeration.
Of course. But there is something to be said about, everyone always says, and like the analytics people, like even bettors like myself, are supposed to playoff basketball. But no, but really, like, things change in the playoffs. Not from an effort standpoint, I think that's pretty obvious. But just the ability to play the same team so many times in a row and make those adjustments. And like the Philadelphia adjustment of how do we get good offense and get good looks when one of our main guys can't shoot and no one has to respect them. It's just like impossible to really do, especially when you have a clog like Embiid trying to play down low, high post. And then you have Simmons too. It's just a brutal fit. And you've seen it, expound itself in the playoffs outside of the year, the Raptors and Kawhi get the bounce, fortunately win that game. Jimmy Butler, kind of prime Jimmy Butler, made that work in a sense. But generally, the Embiid-Simmons combo hasn't otherwise.
Have we talked about where you'd like to see him go? Or where
No.
you think the best fit would be?
We do have betting extraordinaire, by the way, day 2. So people that have probably been waiting to call in for that, saving their energy. Anyone that won yesterday, there was 6 or 7 of you, call in for day 2 in about 7 or 8 minutes. So we'll wrap up soon. But I am not sure I have a definitive answer. The reason being, Ben Simmons, the whole idea of send him somewhere and completely rebuild around Simmons. Like, can you rebuild around someone at a championship level that can't shoot?
No.
Probably not. So then I think the fit ultimately is, can he be your like 4th guy and the only guy out of 5 that can't shoot? You need another big that can spread in space, which Embiid kind of can do. I think he shot over 40% from 3 this last year, and it still was an issue. But they also had some other positions that weren't great at shooting. And Tobias Harris kind of, bipolar as they come as far as if he would show or not during those Atlanta Hawks series, especially if I remember correctly. Anyways, I think the angle then is trying to figure out a fit for Ben Simmons where he is at all times the only guy on the floor that can't shoot, and he isn't your second best player. He's your 4th, maybe 3rd, but like 4th. But then he's not paid like that, so it's really an impossible fit. You can't get paid $35 million and be the 4th best player on the team. It's just almost impossible. So that's the conundrum. I don't really know. Yeah. What about you?
I mean, the only thing that makes sense is Golden State, but you got somebody like that in Draymond already. So,
I mean, I'm sure Golden State would love to do that. In fact, I believe there was at least rumors of a draft night offer for him
for the picks, right?
That was like a couple picks, a future pick, Andrew Wiggins, and some other pieces to make the money work, probably. And Philly said no. Maybe they would say yes.
Yeah.
I mean, Morey at some point. That's what, it's kind of a game of chicken here now. Morey versus the rest of the league.
Yeah. You gotta say, I guess
The leverage positioning has changed. I'm intrigued. I'm a big NBA fan, but I'm trying to focus on football generally right now. But yeah, you got my wheels turning a little bit here on where the Ben Simmons fit could be. All right, we'll wrap up now. We'll give Qwan a few minutes to set up for betting extraordinaire, but we'll be back in a few. Different stream. It'll go live on my feed and all of the other platforms as usual. At Sportscheetah, by the way, is my Twitter handle. I never actually tell people. You can find me there. You can find Betting Extraordinaire Day 2, a chance for 7 callers to win $25,000. Playing through the rest of the week. We'll be back tomorrow with Last Word Cheetah, as usual, at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific, as well as the Steam Morning Right Angle Sports Release Show specials we do every Wednesday.